Drew Landry over at AFS, and he asked you, Mr. Regal, you and
Yes.
Tajiri were comedic gold. Whose
Uh,
idea was it to put you two? And did you think it would be as good as it was?
oh, okay. So we talked about last week about making things work, and I say that a lot. Make anything work. Well, that
Right.
was one of the few times I only heard about that on the afternoon that we started it, and we were in where's the place where Disneyland is? In California.
Anaheim, California.
Anaheim. We were in Anaheim, and I knew Tajiri was coming, and I'd seen him a lot, but I didn't know him. And I heard that I was already doing my commissioner thing, and Tajiri that they said, "Oh, you you're going to be doing this thing," and it was Paul Heyman's idea, I believe, because he was a big fan of Tajiri, isn't he? Like
Sounds
my
right.
stuff. So straight away, again, this is one of those times, I try to tell everybody you can learn from me, and I'm pretty open-minded and it's make everything work. But there was something in my mind because I'm a comedy fan of years ago stuff, a lot of it from years ago, because I don't try to watch anything nowadays because people then know that let me just say I borrow certain things from, or I have over the years, but you won't know where it's from, or English people might know that are older, because you need a lot of material, right? And all I could think of was it's going to be Peter Sellers and Kato. It's the Pink Panther,
Oh, there
and
you
I
go.
thought
There you go.
I don't like I don't want to do that, like it because it's going to be too obvious to me. It might not have been in that day and age
Right.
but from my it would, and so I went to Mr. McMahon. I always had a great um rapport with him, and very little we talked very little over the years. And if it was just, I need a bit of direction, please, Mr. McMahon. Need a bit of direction, boss, please, because I don't. All I'm saying is the Pink Panther. He went, just go and have a go at it. And so, with most of the characters that I were put with, if you noticed over a lot of my career, or if you look at my career, I was put with a lot of people, and it was usually because I can talk a lot, or I can react, or I'm comfortable in making a fool of myself to get that character over. And you can go through, name quite a few there, which would be me and Tajiri put together. There's Eugene, there was me
Mhm.
and Birchall, and then the thing with the Un-Americans, which ended up with me and Lance Storr, and and it goes on and on. But with Tajiri, it was not so sure about this, but within 2 seconds of me walking out of Mr. McMahon's office, let's just make it work. So we went, and it was a pre-tape done in the afternoon, and they had my place where my office was set up. And I thought, usually I lead the way on things, or I don't want to say I've got a good sort of idea. I do have a somewhat good idea of what works and what doesn't. And especially with comedy wise. I thought, because I'd seen him do some of his stuff and I saw how entertaining it could be. I
Mhm.
thought, this is just a, let's just film it anyway, but let's just go with it. Because most of the time I was a one take person. I was known for that. And they trusted me greatly with a huge amount of stuff. And I've just got all my little bits of business, which is me, just, and little, whatever it is. If you watch this, there's this little bits of business. So I'm not just sat there, right? And I just create little things, and I'm just little movements and little ticks and twitches and whatever. And so I thought, I'll follow him. I'll just let him do his thing and I'll react off him, because I'm a reactor, not an actor, right? I try to react off the situation, not act. That's what happens with a lot of people. They act and I react. I learned that from an interview I saw with Michael Caine when I was a kid, on the Parkinson show in England, which he said that they talked about him being a great actor. He said, I don't act, I react. I wait. He said, I might know what I'm going to say, but I don't say it until the person has delivered the line, because you never know how they're going to say it. And it could say it with a different tone of voice, or a different look. So I react. And it stuck with me. And certainly once I started doing that stuff, that always stuck in my head. So I thought I'll just react to him. So I'm just doing my little bits of stuff, whatever I was doing, and I just said, "Oh, I forget what the actual explanation of why he was with me, but you're going to be working with me now." I said, "Just get me some tea," and he grabbed the teapot and he picked it up and he just went tuk 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 tuk, and I lost the plot, which was very. I felt that there was a bit of me that was a bit upset with myself because of being unprofessional, because of cracking up and losing it. But I absolutely whatever this silly little thing that he did made me lose it, and I was laughing. I thought this is going to work, but it was all he was the difference with everybody than everybody else. I just reacted off him. I let him do whatever he was going to do, and then I just did whatever I thought was right. Whereas with Eugene, if sorry
You had to be more
this
proactive in your in
if this I don't want to offend Nick in any way because Nick was incredible. But if you left Eugene to his own devices, he stood there and went. Mm, 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 mm. Whereas with me, it was me going, run around like an aeroplane, goose me, and so I can react, swing on the ropes,
right.
I'd call this, and then I would react to it and like go after him and like, oh, sell it and whatever. So myself and Tajiri were it was the opposite way around, but it was absolute wonderful. The stories about me, there's a sort of I think it's on the network. They made it into a cartoon about me saying I hate him. I don't hate him at all. I think the world of him. He was weird to travel with. Believe me, that he was absolute nightmare to travel with, and we had some very strange situations. And I got up to some strange things with him because he sent me over the edge of it traveling with him. But we had magic chemistry, and we always got on. We didn't. I didn't hate him at all, but we got on. He was just odd to travel with, because he's for some reason, or I think he just used to do it to wind me up. He said he was scared of music. He was scared of everything. So you're doing 2,000 mile a week or 1,500 mile a week,
He's
four
scared of
nights a
music.
week, and he wouldn't have any music on the car, so he just sat in the car.
Like
And I'm a music person, right? I've usually got some soul or some reggae playing or something.
That
I've
sounds
got
like hell
something
on
on,
earth in a
right?
2,000-mile ride with no
And
music.
he always insisted on driving and was dreadful and didn't always got us lost. But he'd just sit there, and I used to do things that I started to question my sanity because one thing I don't like is bullies and liberty takers. He turned me into something I didn't like because I got these long drives, 200 and 300 miles after Raw or
Drove
whatever
you
to go
crazy.
to SmackDown, just him, just silence and just him. And I used to get next to his face like that and just go, and as I'm doing it, I'm thinking, what is going on with you? You're insane. What are you doing? And he'd just look over at me and just go, I hate you. And that was it. And that was our car rides, but complete silence, absolute silence. It was mad. So yeah, me and Tajiri, it was magic. It was magic stuff. I'm not saying go and watch me, but there's some lovely stuff that we did when he came and did the Cruiserweight Classic, and they just said, "Oh, you two are together, go and film it." And it was just we did a few little silly things at the PC in Orlando, and they were magic as well. They were just fun together. So he was great. Yeah.
Well, we all remember that fondly, and some of our funniest, William Regal moments,
Excuse me.
the day that you see him wrestle for the first time, your reactions are something I'll always remember and laugh at. You were just gobsmacked that this guy could actually go in the ring. It was an
Oh yeah.
amazing reaction by you.
Well, that again is pure pure reacting because I knew how great he was. I'd seen him. I'd seen him on ECW. I'd seen him from Japan. I mean, he's fantastic. Absolutely, far beyond. I think certain people that are far beyond, far better than anybody knows, and know that they're great. He's one of them, and Finley's another one who everybody knows how great he is until you try and unless you know, and then he's in a different world. If you train
Wow.
with him,
Right.
if you get in the ring, because he has his, you know, we all have our acts after a while. When you once you're doing your thing, you do your thing. But if you train with Fit Finley, or well, always I've watched Tajiri train people. They do things that they don't usually do in the ring because it's not part of their what they do, and they just do it better than everybody and fit in a completely different league. Everything he does looks like it hurts and looks right, and it is right, and it's incredible. So yeah, we had yeah, Tajiri was it was a great part of my life.